Like this. Facing where? Teach me. This is the neck. I think like this. I'm too speedy. It should be slow. Like this. Then like this. Am I right or wrong? Okay guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. I'm here, I'm going to iron for my secret village admirer. Yes, as you can see, I'm also going to teach you on how we do iron in the village, or how I do iron in the village, okay? Though I rarely do, because I don't have a lot to iron, and at times I'm always at home. Only when I'm going to church, it's when I iron. And yeah, if I get lazy, I don't. If I'm in the mood of ironing, then I do iron. So let us start. I'm going to show you the whole process on how we do it. I'm not going to be mean in this village. I mean, in this video, I'm not going to be mean. I will be showing you each and everything. So don't blink your eyes. Just stay tuned and see. A beautiful morning. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Thank you so much for choosing this channel, and thank you so much for opening up to this video. So I'm going to show you on how we do iron in the village. And to those who are wondering, in the villages we don't have the electricity, so what do we use to iron? You're going to see what we use when we want to iron. So as you can see me, I'm lighting the fire because I have the charcoal aside and I want to heat up the charcoal so that I can put it in ironing tool. Yes, in most cases we don't have most of the things that those who are capable of getting electricity, those who are in, maybe let me say in towns, but we have got, like, we can improvise. There is always an alternative for if we don't have this, we can have that, okay? As I'm still preparing this, I will let it be like the charcoal burning to get ready so that I can go and I prepare where I want to iron from, what I want to use, and the ironing tool itself. Since I have taken a long time without using it, I think I need to clean it up. Then I start ironing. I remember the time I was in school. When we were still young, they used to force us, like, to iron our uniforms. It used to be like a routine during weekends, most especially on Saturday. You wake up knowing that you are supposed to wash your uniform. Then, like, in the afternoon, when it gets dry, you have to iron it. So to those who were taken maybe to the garden and you're like, on Saturdays you've gone to the garden and you've not washed your uniform, it used to be a Sunday. You wash it on Sunday. At times it doesn't get dry, so you have to iron it when it is still wet. And at times, this kind of ironing, by the way, it is a risk. As you can see here, I'm trying to clear it up down, since I've told you that I've taken time without using it. So it got like some kind of rusty. So when we make it like that on the it is sand. I used the sand to clear it down. Yeah, like those ones we already see that are using Panadol to clear. When the pus gets like burnt down, you use Panadol. For us, we use sand to clear it down. So I was still telling you, yeah, as I've told you, I've taken time without using it, so I needed to really clean it. Yes, and ironing using this tool, you need to be careful, because you might burn your cloth or it might get dirty. So it's just to be extra careful while ironing. So since I'm going to iron for my secret admirer, so I think I'm going to take a lot of time. It should be actually a job on my side, but since he's my admirer, then I won't charge him. I'm not going to charge him. As you can see the smile on my face. Yes, let us start. Who doesn't wish to have someone anyways? Yeah. I'm trying to remove the ash, the one that has already got burnt, you know. So when you keep ironing, or when it is, the charcoal is ready and you put it inside, this is what you need to keep doing so that you keep your tool hot. And when it gets very hot, I got that Benson underwater to keep cooling that tool. That is the most risking part. Once it opens, and what if it was a cloth? So it would have like got burnt anyways, you know. So it needs, you take your time. It needs when you are not in rush. When you want to put on a cloth, maybe tomorrow, you make sure that you use that tool and iron it today. It gets ready. In case of anything, let me say you have already prepared something, and you are in a rush, you don't have any other option, and you're using that tool, you maybe it has got burnt, and you're like, oh my god, what should I do now? You might miss even where you were going. So as I've said, you need to be extra careful. There are so many challenges that when you're using that pass. I've seen other people using it, but it is totally different from what I'm using. For it has a wooden handle, but it is all like metal. And for them, they put it on top of the charcoal. They just place it on top of charcoal, the one that is hot already. Then they put that tool. When it gets hot, then they remove it and start ironing. That's what they use. But for us, we put the charcoal inside. So, but who knows the name of this? Who knows the name of this ironing tool? For me, I know it as pass, and I grew up knowing that it is pass. So I don't know, how do you call it that side? Let me share with you this story when my first time in Saudi Arabia. So as you well know that we used to put on uniforms. So it was one time I went to iron my uniform. There are this poor material that you put on, and it starts like bringing out like threads. Yeah, it's what I had. So one time I was like, let me try to iron it so that these things won't come back again. Okay. I was still new, so I went to iron that uniform. Oh my God, I burnt it for the first time. I think the issue was on that tool that I used, or maybe like in adjusting it or whatever. So the problem wasn't me who burnt the uniform, but the tool that I used had an issue. That's why I burnt it. And luckily enough, I burnt it like on the pocket. I burnt the pocket. And I did not remove the pocket. So it remained there. And remember, we used it to go like out in those uniforms with our bosses. You are carrying a child, or you. So they used to ask me, what happened to your uniform? And I used to tell them I burnt it. The first time when my boss saw it that I burnt it, so he called his wife, and he was like, you see, she burnt the uniform, you know. So that was my experience as a new housemaid in Saudi Arabia. But luckily enough, I burnt my own. So what if it was for someone, or maybe she has given me like maybe like a party dress, and she's to attend a party somewhere, she's to go somewhere. So, and I'm like, she has told me to go and iron. And by the way, that was my last time to iron my uniforms. Because even the reaction, like how they reacted, you know. So I stopped like ironing my uniforms. For sure, even in the new house, when I shifted to a new house, another house, like another second home, I did not iron my uniforms unless when they buy them for the first time. If they buy me a uniform, I wash it and iron it, and that is all. I won't iron it again. Because it was like a bad experience, and so I felt so bad, and I was like, let me just leave my uniforms. So I used not to iron actually. So there is this also friend of mine whom we were together in Saudi Arabia, and when she went to iron clothes, she took her phone, and she was like, she was online, she was chatting. So she forgot maybe to place somewhere the ironing tool, and she just left it on the cloth. And by the time she realized that something has got burnt, oh my God, it was already late. So in that manner, how do you explain to someone that you've burnt really a cloth, and what were you doing? At times, some tools are not in good conditions when it comes to adjusting them, and others, it might be an accident when you're not aware that maybe you left it on the cloth and you're doing something else. And yeah, those things, they do happen actually. As you're about to see me also, this tool, it got off, it dismantled itself actually. So I even risked, actually it did not even burn any of those clothes that I was ironing, but it reached somewhere, and I think it got tired, and it dismantled itself. So I started also fixing it in. Ironing. That's why some people don't like it. But on my side, if I don't have any other thing to do, it's really nothing to me. Yeah, if it is what I'm supposed to do that very time, it is just nothing to me. And instead of washing, when I was still in Saudi Arabia, instead of washing, I used to love even ironing than washing. Washing those clothes in those machines had risks also on my side. I did not like it at all. Some clothes, how should I say? But let me say that when it came to washing, for sure, it was somehow, somewhere, it was not friendly on my side. And for the case of my tool, it has no where you can put water. But if in case you're ironing and you need water, I had a bottle, like a drinking water bottle. Then I have to put like holes on its cover, on its lid, so that I can keep like spritzing water on the cloth and I iron. That's how we use the water while ironing using that tool.